Hey everybody, welcome back to Tenza Motorsports, and today we are doing, surprise, surprise, some more Royal Purple. Now I'm not doing this because it's my best performing series on my channel, but more because this car is actually needing an oil change. It's been quite a while since I did it last time. I'm nowhere near my 10,000 miles, but if you remember, we were still trying to clean out the engine. The oil, last time I checked that, it was pretty dark, so we are continuing to pull dirt out of the top end. Depending on how the top end of this engine looks, it's probably gonna be one of the last times I pull it apart to check to see how much it's cleaned. And I kind of want to talk real quick about that. Now, we are going to be going to XPR, and we'll talk about that here in a second as well, but I want to go through the actual cleanliness of the engine. We talked about it in a couple videos before, and I've had a lot of people say, well, why didn't you put a ton of miles on it? And I was trying to show how fast it would clean. We did a 500 mile, and then I believe we did like 1,700 miles or so. I can't actually remember what the mileage between when we first started putting Royal Purple with that dirty head after we did the rebuild, and we are now. I'll put that down here below. So I just want to go over and show how well the engine's been being cleaned based on this many miles. That shows how quickly the Royal Purple can clean it up. We've seen in the previous videos that we were seeing changes at even just 500 miles, which is a very short amount of time. Most people will do 500 miles in just a couple of weeks. 500 miles on a race car can be a couple months during the summer. So the next thing I want to talk about is XPR. Now the XPR is supposed to be their super high performance racing stuff. And I want to read on here in the back, specially formulated to increase horsepower and torque in high performance modified and racing engines. And then lower in here, it also talks about turbocharging, supercharging, and E85 and engines that run nitrous oxide. I was a little bit nervous to put this in the car because this is not like a full-blown race engine. This is a super healthy 3.0 stock engine with a supercharger on it. And I do race the car, but that doesn't necessarily mean that there's a race engine in it. There's two big differences between having a race car and racing your car. And so I actually talked to the rep, same rep I've been getting the rest of my information from when we were doing the HPS on the other car. And he said that based on what I do and my driving habits and the temperatures I drive the car, that this will be a great fit for what we're doing. So we're gonna be putting the XPR in this car today, and then I'll probably do a checkup video on how much I like or dislike it, depending on what it feels like after this. I don't think we're gonna be doing like a dyno or anything. This does claim to give you extra horsepower and torque. And I've actually seen comments where people say that Royal Purple did give them horsepower. It was very small amounts. I think somebody with like a, I don't know, 600 or 700 horsepower drag racer told me that they saw like 8 horsepower or something like that, which is a very, very, very small number. Even 8 horsepower on a stock car where you're only seeing 190 horsepower, if you saw 198, you wouldn't notice anything like that. So I don't think we're gonna be doing a dyno unless that's like a super popular idea. I guess if you wanna see me dyno after installing my new modification, just leave that in the comment below. But for right now, we're just going to pull the valve cover off and then do an oil change. I have a new oil filter, 7 brand new quarts of XPR. I am excited to get it changed over to this. So let's jump right into it and get all that done. So as we can see here, it's continuing to get better and better. I don't see a huge difference between now and when I took this off last time, but I can see a massive difference between when I first put this head on and now. When I first put this on, it was completely black. There's no denying that this looks way better than it was when we first put it on. You can see it's continuing to clean off down in there. There's like these weird like streaks of black. I don't know if you can see that. There's here, here, there, there, where it must not being hit directly with oil, because I don't know why else those would be there. And let's go take a look at the valve cover itself. I don't see the valve cover getting any cleaner than it is now. If you can see here, it is like absolutely perfect in this area. And then obviously, like we discussed before, this side right here is not gonna clean up. We're actually gonna go and look at the oil color. We checked the level before we went on the really long drive, but I haven't looked at the color for a while, so we're gonna do that real quick. Yeah, it's starting to look pretty dark. I mean, it's obviously not like black or anything like that, but I wanna change it. I probably, when we run the XPR, I'll probably run the XPR for a full season next go around instead of doing check-ins like this. If we weren't going to XPR, I probably wouldn't change the oil right now because it doesn't look too bad. But I'm really actually excited to try out XPR. I don't think I'll notice any differences to me, but like I said, maybe I'll do a dyno. Leave in the comments below if you think I should do another dyno on this car. Just so everybody remembers, we did do a dyno video on this car as it sits right now. I'll have the link to that right here in a card. I dynoed 400 horsepower and 401 pound-feet of torque to the wheel. So even if this gained just a couple horsepower, we wouldn't be able to notice. So hopefully that was a good look at the top end of the engine. I'm gonna go over this and get some really good up-close shots so I can play them as B-roll. And then I'm gonna change the oil, get all this put back together, and we will wrap up this video. Well, there you have it. That is probably the last time I think I'm gonna pull that valve cover off. I might do it in like a year from now, or do a whole season on the car and then go from there. But it seems that the cleaning has plateaued a little bit. So we had a whole bunch of cleaning at the first little bit, and then it's just kind of slowed down, but it's continuing to clean, and I am still very happy with this. If I was not happy with Royal Purple and its performance, I wouldn't be putting it back in the car. As most of you know, I spent a lot of money and a lot of time going through this car and the engine, and I would not jeopardize that by putting in a oil that I did not trust. So if you have any questions about Royal Purple, I can do my best to answer them if you leave your comment in the comment section below. I'm sure there are people that watch the videos that know more about Royal Purple than I do, and oftentimes somebody will pop in and answer a question better than I can. So I hope everybody enjoyed. If you did, hit the like button, subscribe if you're new. Check out my Patreon link in the description below. I offer early ad-free access of my content. That starts at just $1 a month. Again, the link to that is in the description below. Thanks again everybody for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.